everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So before we dive into today's episode, which is breaking news, it has been confirmed, and I'm saying confirmed because it's in People magazine, and they are so tried and true. When it's in People magazine, you can pretty much bet that it is true that Monica Garcia has been fired from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They heard us. We have been answered. I am here for it. So we're going to get into what the article says on People magazine. Then we can talk about maybe why this is happening and why they are announcing it now. And then I also want to talk a little bit about Monica and her 4 last names and her ex, Mike, being arrested. Maybe that's even a part of her being fired. Who the hell knows? But before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's go. So this is according to People magazine. So if I'm looking up over here, it's because I'm referencing the article. I haven't gone live with my face in a while, so if I'm looking this way, sorry. So as you guys come in, be sure to say hi, drop your name, where are you listening from, and your thoughts. Are you excited about this news? Are you not excited about this news? I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Okay, so here we go. Monica Garcia departs the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City after breakout debut season, exclusive for People magazine. The season 4 standout has been praised by critics and fans alike for making the Bravo series' 4th season unmissable television. I mean, if you like watching a train wreck like a lot of people do, I guess. Monica Garcia will not be returning to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for its upcoming 5th season, multiple sources tell People. Remember, if it's in People magazine, I feel like it's pretty legit, and I'm guessing those sources are people close to production. Despite a breakout debut on season 4 of the Bravo series, the sassy standout, I wouldn't call her sassy, I'd call her psychotic, but that's just me, who is 40 years old, will not be joining co-stars Heather Gay, Meredith Marks, Lisa Barlow, Whitney Rose, and Angie K when cameras pick back up next month, according to insiders. So there is a little bit of tea in there, you guys. So now we know that Heather's coming back, Meredith, Lisa, Whitney, and Angie K. So we know that the rest of the entire cast is coming back, allegedly, according to this article, for the upcoming season. Now, what does this mean? Will Mary Cosby be back, friend of or full-time? And also, they have to add in more housewives. You know, we can't have this season with just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 5 or 6 of them, whatever it is. We need more housewives on Salt Lake City. I think that has been the biggest thing, where it's really just been Heather and Meredith and Lisa and Whitney. Angie K has been there, sure, but I think with Jen Shah gone, we need not even Monica. Like, who cares about Monica? But I feel like we need at least 2 to 3 solid new housewives to join the show. And I don't need the housewives to be friends with Heather and Meredith and Lisa and Whitney, but I think it would be really interesting, in case production, you're listening. I think what actually would be really interesting is if the 2 to 3 new housewives are they themselves friends. So it's not so much like we have to make sure that they're friends with people on the cast, because that's kind of how Monica got in, because she was Jen Shah's assistant. So that was her way in. So I don't think that necessarily means that the new girls have to have a history with the girls who are already on the show. But I think if the new girls came in and they had their own history, I think it would be interesting to see how those groups of friendships then came together to gel. So production, that is some free pitching, if you will. If you want more pitching, holler at your girl. I will invoice you next time. Okay. People reached out to Garcia for comment and to Bravo TV, which typically does not comment on casting. Well, typically they don't comment on casting, but they did in The Hollywood Reporter. We did a deep dive where The Hollywood Reporter sat down and talked to the showrunners and the producers of the show. Go back and watch that. I read the entire article for you guys and I broke it down. So there's that. Garcia, a mother of 4 and the first Latina to join the cast, has been widely praised by critics and fans alike for breathing new life into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Bravo superfan Jennifer Lawrence noted at the the Golden Globes Awards earlier this month that the women gave Oscar-worthy performances. And just on Tuesday, the Los Angeles Times published a story praising Garcia for turning the reality series into unhinged, unmissable TV. Again, I'm so confused. I don't understand how the very intelligent journalists, writers, editors at the Los Angeles Times is praising this woman. Like, stop. Don't you have other things to talk about, Los Angeles Times? But anyway, that's what I don't get. And I even seen people online being like, they want Jen Shah back and she's got, to the feds and she did fraud and she's in blah, blah and she's in prison. What people, not our people, not us candy canes, because we get it, right? We get it. But what other people, Monica stans, are failing to see is that Jen Shah's fraud is not the same as Monica's fraud. I made the analogy before. It's basically like the Jen Shahs, the Teresa Giudices, the Erica Janes. Those are the people that are bank robbers. They've gone out and they've robbed a bank. And that's bad and that's wrong. Of course. Monica Garcia is the person who came into your home and robbed you. That's the difference. The fraud that Monica did was directly against Heather and Jen and Lisa and Meredith and Whitney and Angie. Her fraud was against them. And like she said, she specifically sought them out, infiltrated these people. These are apples to oranges. And I think that Bravo, NBC, Shed Media, I think they made the right choice in firing this woman. They really did. Because if you break it down, if I work at Target, right? And I go to my manager and I say, listen, manager, I've had this ex-boyfriend. He has been stalking me. He does drive-bys of my home. He broke into my security footage to steal videos of me and my house, my private security videos. He broke into it. He lied to me about who he was. He's been taking videos and photos of me. And then he also created this account on Instagram where he just, he doxes me and he puts out my personal videos and my private videos and photos and information about me on this account on Instagram. He's asking our mutual friends, where am I staying, what my address is, all of this stuff. And now he's gotten a job here at Target just so he can, keep tabs on me and be around me. I'm pretty sure the manager at Target would fire the person that they just hired. Because now that makes Target liable. If I go to Target and say, listen, this person has been stalking me. This person has been posting private things about me online. This person has infiltrated my family, my home, my job just to be a part of my circle and my world. And I don't want this. I'm pretty sure the people at Target would be like, yeah, we need to fire this person because that's a stalker. And now they're also liable because if something happens where this person that Target hired, which they know stalked me and did all this stuff, does something to me, now Target's on the line. Obviously, Target would be NBC Bravo. Obviously, the stalker would be Monica. And obviously, me would be Heather, Angie, Whitney, Lisa. It's a big deal because if you take everything Monica did, it's pretty crazy and psycho. Okay. News of Garcia's exit comes hours before the airing of the third and final part of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, in which she is expected to confront the revelation that she is behind reality Von Tease, an Instagram troll account that had a history of posting negative things about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City stars. Garcia owned up to posting on the account when Gay exposed her during the dramatic season 4 finale in Bermuda, but claimed that she was only one of multiple people who ran the Finsta. One of the others, according to Garcia, was Gay's hairdresser, Tanisha, an allegation Tanisha has appeared to confirm online by posting multiple screen grabs from private messages sent from the account. Well, People Magazine, yes and no. Tanisha said she knew about the account. She did not say she ran the account. And that's a very important distinction. People Magazine, you're slipping. Tanisha never said she ran the account. She said she knew of the account. And that is actually their whole point of contention. So you got to do better, People Magazine. Monica Garcia was saying, oh, it wasn't me who started it. It was Tanisha. It was Tanisha. It was Tanisha, blah, 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 blah. Tanisha was like, no, boo-boo. I am admitting that I knew about the account. I kikied about it. I talked about it with you. I knew you were posting. I knew what the account was. But Tanisha came out and clearly said she never posted on the account. She never created content for the account, and she never ran the account. That's a very important distinction. So People Magazine, you got to fact check yourself, because she did not confirm that she ran the account. And I think that's a very important distinction. I actually think it would matter with Monica. If Monica just knew about the account, it would be less weird and psycho and crazy versus she ran the account, she created content for the account, she got video, she got tea, and she was actually actively posting on the account. Those are two separate things. Two separate things. Additionally, Garcia has also insisted she only participated in reality Von Tease to expose former friend and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City alum Jen Shah, who is currently serving a 5-year prison sentence for her role in a long-running telemarketing scheme. I didn't say S about anybody else. I didn't say crap about anybody else other than Jen, and I will own that to the grave, she shouted at the women, adding she didn't see reality Von Tease as a bad thing and it was just telling the truth. Well, no, you're not telling the truth. You were a gossip account, and that's fine. You just say what you were. And as we all know, her whole high moral ground of I only did it to expose Jen, who's this horrible person, has been debunked by her herself. We saw part 1 of the reunion when Heather played the audio of Monica herself saying the only reason why I was Jen Shah's assistant was because she wanted to be on the show. That's when she referenced herself to be like Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian was an effing assistant, blah, 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 blah. I'll see if I still have the video and we can watch it. If I still have it saved, we'll watch it. But she says it herself. So this is clearly debunked. She wasn't exposing Jen Shah out the kindness of her heart. She was exposing Jen Shah because she wanted ammunition to get on the show. And she has a very sick, pathological envy for all of these women. That's why she has such hatred and vitriol towards them, because she envies them. She wants to be them. She didn't want to expose Jen. She wanted to become Jen. Those are two very, very different things. And she said it herself. She only did it to get on the show. She infiltrated her to get on the show. Not because she wanted to save the elderly. Girl, bye. If you want to save the elderly, start with your mother. Respect your elder, respect your mother. You respect, because that's another thing, right? We've seen how Monica talks to her mother. She talks to her like a chick on the street, worse than a chick on the street. She yells at her, she cusses at her, she lies on her, she disrespects her, she kicks her out of places, she leaves her places. I just don't buy that someone who treats their mother like that all of a sudden has this moral compass that she can't believe Jen Shah would have the audacity to yell at an assistant, the audacity to yell at her fashion designer. Girl, bye. Bye. People don't treat their mothers like that and then actually care about how other people treat other people. Start with yourself. Still, the sting of Garcia's lies was hard for Heather to overcome. She called out Garcia for being a cyberbully internet troll and confirmed she had a collection of receipts, proof, timeline, and screenshots to prove her claims. The phrase became an instant meme among fans and was even quoted by the U.S. Representative Robert Garcia during a House Oversight Committee hearing this month. Kind of scary, but okay. Heather's co-stars agreed with her outrage. You effing deceived us all, Barlow shouted, while Meredith Marks yelled, you've sat here with us for 3 months and you've not told us the truth. In the previous 2 installments of the reunion, Garcia has been on the defense while questions about her past have surfaced. Her co-stars have essentially written her off as a fan who infiltrated their friend group. Again, they use the word infiltrated. We used it here with the Candy Canes first. We were always saying Monica infiltrated. This is now the 2nd or 3rd time that Monica herself or People Magazine or some other publication have now used the word infiltrated. We have said that for so long. I know you guys are watching production, so keep watching. Anyway, their friend group, i.e. the show, and pretended to be their ally while secretly talking about them behind their backs. That very behavior in Garcia's overall unapologetic messiness is precisely what viewers have embraced about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City newcomer. Well, some viewers, not all, not me. But it's also what ultimately put her fate on the show in jeopardy. I think the question is, how will Monica, or will Monica, find her way back into this group, reunion host and Bravo exec Andy Cohen teased to Entertainment Tonight on Monday. Those discussions, according to producers Noah Sampton, who's the senior vice president of production at NBC Universal Television and Streaming, and Lisa Shannon, senior vice president of programming and development at Shed Media. So these are very important people. So Lisa Shannon, Shed Media is the actual boots on the ground production people. These are the people who are actually casting the show. These are the people who are scouting locations for the show. These are the people who are working with them on their storylines and their narratives. These are the boots on the ground production people. Noah Sampton at NBC Universal is a high-level executive. He probably doesn't even know who these people are in real life. He's too busy, in the office doing his little office stuff. He's not boots on the ground. We've had all about 17,000 conversations about that subject. We probably have another few hundred ahead of us as well. Noah told The Hollywood Reporter on January 19th, noting that showrunner Lori Gordon was involved in the conversation as well. Monica's a great cast member. She's open and vulnerable, and she represents a different kind of person in Salt Lake than we have on the show. She comes from a different background, and there's a lot about her that the audience can relate to in a way that's different from the other women. But at the same time, there's the deception. There's the relationship with the other cast members. It's a really complicated puzzle, he continued. From a rating standpoint, you would want to find a way for her to come back, but it's really challenging in this situation. We're just trying to figure it out. Okay. This is what I think happened. I think that maybe production wanted her back for, quote, ratings, but I think that the other cast women, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Like the other women, like the Heather Gay and Lisa and who else is on the show, and Whitney. I think they all banded together and were like, we're not filming if she comes back. I think they pulled a Friends where it's like, unless we all get $1 million an episode, none of us is coming back. I think the women banded together and said, you can do a show with Monica and find new women, but we're not going to come back and film with her. And the reason why I think that is because, like I said before, it's different if a robber goes and robs a bank. It's different when the robber comes and robs your house. And I think that's how the women felt, that Monica came and robbed their houses and they did not feel comfortable with it. And at the end of the day, we look at this as a television show, but at the end of the day, this is a workplace, corporate environment. What they do may be creative, but it's a workplace, corporate environment. And if you go to your boss and you say, I do not feel safe working with this person because of A, B, C, and D, and you have the receipts and the proof and the timeline and the screenshots, and you have the person themselves saying this in a workplace where people can sue you, I think that the executives at Bravo made the decision, well, let's just get rid of Monica. We'll bring somebody else on because we don't want this type of smoke. You know what I mean? And I think that happened, and I'm proud of them because I wouldn't want to say I worked at Target. I wouldn't want to work at, and no shade to Target. Shout out to everybody who does, regular smuggler job. Shout out to you. It's all good. I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. I have respect for everybody. I don't care what you do in this world. Everybody is the same. We're all equal. We all deserve respect. So I don't mean it in that way. I'm just only using an analogy so people can get it. Because sometimes we think about these shows and we forget about the real life implications of it. So that's the only reason why I use those analogies. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't, if I was working at Target, I wouldn't want to have to work with somebody right next to me every day that I know lied to me about who they were, that, maybe stole my $60,000 ring, maybe was a part of the group that stole my pleather, clutch from Mirror the Store, that has, broken into security footage at my friend's house, Jen Shaw, and stole her stuff, infiltrated, has an entire media account dedicated to talking about me and bullying me and trashing me. I wouldn't want to go to my job every day and have to work with somebody like that. Nobody would want to do that. So yes, Tarjay. Yes, yes, yes. So there's that. There is that. And I think I also think there's probably, let's talk about why, before we finish the article, let's talk about why I think they broke this news now, because historically, they don't break news about who's coming back to the show until after the entire reunions have aired. Like historically, it's like, oh, the reunion is your chance to save your job. And then once the reunion has aired, then historically, we'll find out who's being asked back, who's going to be a friend of, who's being put on pause, blah, blah, blah. The reason why I think they broke this news today is because they want everyone to tune in to the third part of the reunion. It's a ratings grab, because now everyone's going to say, wait a minute, they fired Monica? Well, what the hell happened in the third part of the reunion to want them to fire her? It's really smart from a marketing and a strategy standpoint to break the news. Like if they were going to fire her, which obviously they decided to, according to, People magazine, to fire her. And I hope this is true. People magazine, please come through. I'm going to be really sad if it turns out this isn't true, but People magazine is usually on point. This is brilliant from a marketing standpoint and from a strategy standpoint, because people who maybe weren't going to watch are definitely now going to watch. And I think that it's a great ratings grab for part 3, because now it's going to be like, well, what the hell happened in part 3 where Monica got fired? So it's really smart from that perspective why they're dropping the news now, because it wouldn't be as big as a bombshell for a ratings grab if they announce she's fired after all the reunions have already aired. Do you see what I'm saying? Because once it's already aired, they don't have anything new to show until filming and blah, 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 blah. So there's that. So that it's smart from that standpoint. Okay. Now let's keep going. Shannon added, it's a situation we've never been in before. This is a different beast than I think any of us have dealt with. So we're kind of moving our way through it. Remember, Shannon is the executive from Shed Media. At least one person has been definitive about Garcia, though, Heather Gay. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City OG, who is also suing Garcia over an alleged mispayment at her beauty lab and laser med spa, and defending herself from Garcia's counterclaims that the procedure was botched and negligently performed, has long been insistent that she will not step in front of a camera with Garcia again. See, that goes back to what I said. I think the women stood together the same way that they did in Bermuda when they all came and they all got in the circle. What happened to us? All of the 4 of them. I think the women plus Angie banded together and were like, we're not going to film with this person. We don't feel safe. And remember, this is a workplace. These people are getting paychecks. Okay? This is a workplace. NBC Universal is a corporation. Bravo is a subsidiary of NBC Universal. It's basically another department for them. It's just it's a brand that they own. You see what I'm saying? It's business. It's business. And when your employees come to you and say, we don't feel safe being at our workplace, because trust and believe, it's a job. They're getting paid. They're going to have to pay taxes on it. It's a job. They have to listen. And just like the article said, Heather was like, I'm not coming back without her. I think if it had just been Heather, maybe not. But when they all come together, strength in numbers. She says, I don't think I ever will ever, she told Variety in November. It's pretty definitive for me. I can't speak for my other cast members, but for me, it's pretty clear. Yes, and I think it's pretty clear, especially Lisa Barlow. I think all of them kind of banded together and was just like, get her out. Lisa wasn't having her either. She was like, your time is up. You played all your cards. You're out. And regarding the lawsuits between Heather and Monica, Monica's counter lawsuit was dismissed, as it should have been. It was frivolous. It was so stupid. It was all of that. So, yay. I mean, I'm excited. I think this was the right move for Bravo and for NBC and for Shed Media. I think also it would have sent the wrong precedent to people that this is how you get on TV. This is the type of villain that we want. I personally don't want this type of villain on my screen. We can have quote villains. There's archetypes for every single show. There are personas, there are characters for everyone. There's the filler housewife, there's the HBIC, there's the blah blah blah. We can have villains, that's fine. But we don't need real life villains. We need just camera villains. Monica took it way too far. She took it way too far. And I'm also happy she was fired because, like I was saying, I think it sets the wrong precedent that people think, oh, this is the blueprint to get on the show. So with everything Monica did, imagine now people thinking, well, I need to start doing burner accounts. I need to start stalking the housewives. I need to start stalking Andy Cohen. I need to start stalking the executives. I need to start stalking casting. I need to start creating drama. I need to start doing fraud. I need to start blah, 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 blah. Because when violence and fraud and lies and deception and very evil and dark, and this is how I personally feel about this woman, is rewarded, it sends the message that not only is it okay, but this is the way. So I'm really happy she was fired because I don't want people to think you have to do this type of dirt and deception and lie and fraud in order to get what you want. You don't have to do that. You can get the fame, you can get the money, you can get whatever. You don't have to go to the dark side to get what you want. Because I think people go to the dark because they think that's the only way, but it's not. Because remember when Monica was on, I was like, oh, she knows the blueprint, the housewife blueprint. And I was like, how sad that the blueprint to being on these shows is committing fraud, being verbally and emotionally abusive, being violent, and lying and deceiving people and being full of hatred and envy and vitriol. That's the blueprint. It's really sad. It's really sad, but I am really happy she got fired. I think it sends the correct message. I think it sends the right message. And I think that it's a bright day for reality TV. It's a brighter day because there's other ways to get on these shows. Just be yourself. Gina, look at Gina in the OC. On paper, Gina and Monica are the same, but Gina didn't do all this nasty dirt that Monica did. And she's been on the OC for season after season after season after season. So you don't have to do all this dirt. You can be a person in a nice, normal house. You can not have all of the money all the other people have. You can be divorced and raising your children and co-parenting and still be on the show. So Monica, I hope it was worth it. I hope you got whatever it is that you thought you wanted to get, but you're fired and I'm happy. Bye-bye. So with that, you guys, put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. Are you happy Monica was fired? Or do you think, no, we need to bring her back? I think it would have been horrible to bring her back with the women, especially with everything she did. It would have been horrible. That's how I feel. Put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. And are you like me? And are you like, at least they did because I always like to look at this stuff from a viewer standpoint, but then I also think, well, if I was an executive, if I was a producer, what would I do? And I think that them breaking the news that she was fired right before part 3 aired Brilliant marketing, great strategy, because now everyone's going to be like, what the hell happened in part 3? And we will be back to recap part 3 here tomorrow. So before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Now, I also wanted to do another story on Monica. And this is the story of her and her ex being arrested for allegedly slapping her in her face while her children were home. I felt torn talking about this because one, it's not a feel good story, it's really dark, but I think it bears talking about now that she has been fired from the show. And she also put out this whole statement about how she allegedly was a DV, survivor, and how she wanted to talk about, her DV violence on the show and be an advocate for survivors on the show. And I felt very strongly that I felt she was only saying this and bringing it out now as a Hail Mary to get back on the show next season. And I wonder if it was worth it to her. Not that I'm condoning him, because we'll get into the article and all of that stuff, but just questions I'm bringing us up for us to think about before we read the article. Not that I'm condoning if he did this. I'm not condoning it, right? Obviously, and any person, male, female, trans, what the hell ever, putting their hands on somebody else is wrong. Man, woman, whatever, it's wrong, especially in romantic partnerships, making it a domestic situation. It's wrong. So by no means am I defending him. By no means am I condoning him. If this is true, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely not, by any means. The only reason why I'm questioning it is because I'm questioning what her motives are. That all of a sudden now we're getting police reports and we're getting her talking about DV and all of this stuff. Because when all of this was being leaked, like last week or a couple days ago, I think she was still vying for her snowflake. And now we know she's been fired. And my question to you, Monica, is, was it worth it? Was it worth risking having a healthy co-parenting relationship with your ex? Because as we all know, you do have a healthy co-parenting relationship with him. That's already out there from your own mouth. You said that he's there for the kids and you're getting 6 to 7K a month in child support and whatever else, and you got to also keep the house, which are all great things, as you should have those things. He should take care of his children, he should take care of you as the ex, and you should be able to live in the house with your kids. All of those things, yes, you should have. But was it worth it also embarrassing your children? Because now your children are going to go to school, your children are going to Google this stuff, and now all of this is going to come out about their father or their stepfather. All of this stuff with you is now coming out and everybody's going to be talking about it. Your little ones are going to be bigger soon, and the bigger ones know what's going on. So was this particular dark Hail Mary, oh, I want to be an advocate for DV survivors, so bring me back on the show, was it worth it? And now you're fired. Did you think about how this would affect your children? Did you think about how this would affect the relationship co-parenting? Because I'm pretty sure he's probably pissed off. And again, I'm not saying that she's responsible to him or she needs to protect him. I'm not saying that. If he did this to her, he is responsible for his actions and he needs to be accountable for what he did. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, was it worth it, Monica? Now let's get into it, okay? So, this is according to page 6. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Monica Garcia's ex was arrested for slapping her face while her kids were home. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Monica Garcia's ex was arrested in 2021, the USN reports. According to a police report obtained by the outlet, Mike Fowler, 45, was arrested on charges of DV assault, DV in the presence of a child, and the interruption of a communication device on March 5th, 2021, after Garcia called law enforcement. While speaking to officers via her Apple Watch, she claimed that her husband had hit her and now she was hiding in a bedroom. In the report, it was noted that a female could be heard yelling for him to get away from her. Upon speaking to officers in person, Garcia, 40, claimed she was afraid of Michael and what he would do if she disobeyed him. Michael Fowler allegedly hit her after arguing about some of the people that she had been associating with. The specific people in question were not named. The argument got worse when they returned home, and that's when he slapped her across the face, per the alleged report. The altercation allegedly occurred in front of her teenage kids. She shares 3 girls with Fowler and daughter Bree from a previous marriage. According to the report, Fowler spent several days in a county jail and then pleaded guilty to assault in front of a judge. He was reportedly sentenced to 12 months probation and had to pay $1,070 in fines. Page 6 did not immediately hear back from Garcia or the Salt Lake City Police Department regarding the report. Garcia finalized her divorce from Fowler on October 24th, 2023, 10 years after getting married. She was awarded $2,636 a month in child support and $4,000 a month in alimony. So that's about $6,636 a month in total, as well as sole legal and physical custody of her 4 girls. The pair tied the knot in 2019, and Garcia filed for divorce 4 years later. They reconciled. Remember, they filed for divorce because she was having the affair with the brother-in-law for 18 months. So that's when she filed for divorce 4 years later after tying the knot. Now, flash forward to present day, they reconciled, and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City villain, as they're calling her, filed for a second time in June of 2023. Note the timing. June 2023, they had already finished filming. So the entire time that Monica is filming the show, she is legally married to Michael. I was under the impression when the show first started, she was divorced because she had cheated with the brother-in-law for 18 months, because that's how she sort of spun it. But that wasn't true. She was legally married to Michael, and the affair had happened 10 years earlier. While many speculated her divorce was a result of the former 18-month-long affair with her brother-in-law, Monica revealed in a January 10 Instagram post that they split over Fowler's alleged abuse. The reason for our divorce was because of domestic V, she wrote in a lengthy caption. So again, the reason why I said the questions early in the beginning of the video is because the only reason why people are looking for police reports, the only reason why Page 6 and The Sun and TMZ and me are reporting on this is because she opened the door with her Instagram post. She opened the door for this. We would have not known. Nobody would have gone sleuthing. She opened the door because she was trying to get sympathy points. And I feel, and my heart goes out to any person who has ever experienced, domestic V. My heart goes out to them. I've never been in that situation. I don't know how it feels, but my heart goes out to you. So I want to be respectful and sensitive talking about this. I don't want anybody who has experienced this to feel any type of way, because I believe people, and if something happened to you, it's not your fault, and I'm sorry. I'm just talking about Monica and how she brought this to light in a way that seemed not that she actually wanted to be an advocate for people, but in a way that she was trying to save her job. To me, her talking about the DV, her bringing all of this up, was nothing but a way for her to save her snowflake, not because she actually wanted to help other survivors. Okay. She goes, my ex was arrested a couple of times for domestic V on me in front of our girls in violations of protective orders. She added that she had hoped to talk about it on the show to help better explain why things are the way they are, and to bring awareness to women dealing with the issue and to help them see that they are not alone. Garcia then addressed women involved in domestic assault situations directly. But that's the thing, Monica. If you wanted to talk about this and if you wanted to be an advocate, why weren't you? Why are we only hearing about this when you know your job is on the line, when you need to do reputation rehab? So that's another reason why I'm okay with you being fired, because I'm really tired of these housewives talking about very serious, real issues only when it serves their narrative, only when it serves their agenda, only when they think it's going to give them cover. Let's call this person a racist. Let's call this person colorist. Let's call this person homophobic. Let's say this person is a sexual predator. Let's talk about the DV victims. Let's talk about, oh, Tom Girardi has dementia. Like, it's just PTSD. I'm looking at you, Dorit. Like, they talk about these really big, serious issues that should be dealt with grace and sensitivity and understanding and compassion, but they only talk about it when it serves them, when it gives them storyline, when it gives them cover. And I'm tired of that because people really do suffer from these things. There are true victims, there are true survivors, there are still people who are really dealing with stuff. And to use these really big things that are really, really impactful for people to give you cover because you want a storyline or because you don't want to be called out for being a liar or you're a fraud is disgusting. It's disgusting. So there is that on Monica, but I want to know what you guys think. Are you like me and you're kind of like Monica? Was it worth it? Was it worth jeopardizing a healthy co-parenting situation with him? Because if I was him, I would be done with you. It would be like, no, we're only going to communicate over text and that's it. Like you're putting all my information on Front Street. Again, I'm not defending him. He pled guilty. He admitted to doing it. I'm not defending him. I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he should be protected. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying, was it worth it? Because now we all know, and your children are going to have to see this, and your children are going to have to go to school. But there's also the part of me where it's like, Monica, you're a known liar. You lied on your mother. And not only did you lie on your mother and have her everybody was calling your mother a monster and toxic and a narcissist and blah, 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 blah. And I don't think anything about your mom. I think your mom was a single mother who did the best she could. She didn't have every single tool in the toolbox either, but I think she did the best she could. And I think your mother was trying to help you be famous. I don't think your mother is toxic. I don't think your mother is a monster. Do I think you guys have unhealthy conversations and dynamics and fights? Yeah, but I don't think your mother is this horrible person. I think the way you treat your mother is pretty horrible and pretty monstrous. For all the leaked videos we've seen, for everything I've actually seen on the show, you are actually more abusive to your mother than she is to you. And the way you got your children to turn on their grandmother, all of a sudden your children were like, we're so scared of grandma. Don't let her in. Make sure you lock the door. I was like, you coached your children. And I feel sick saying this because I believe victims, I believe people, but did you coach your children against their father? That happens too. That happens too, because you clearly coached them against your own mother for the cameras. Did you coach your children against him? I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying we've seen how you move. And to me, the bottom of the barrel is how you treated your mother and then how you weaponized your children against her. So there's nothing you can say that's going to make me believe you. So who knows? I just feel like I just don't believe Monica. She's just a big liar to me. She's a liar. She's a fraud. She's a phony. I just don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. So I hope it was worth it, Monica, but she got fired, so I guess not. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Do you think he was abusive? Do you think he wasn't? Should we even be speculating? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? It's weird, but I got to be honest about how I feel. But with that being said, if you are a victim of DV or you have been, my heart goes out to you. Seek help. It wasn't your fault. And I love you and take care of yourself, okay? But when it comes to Monica, just something feels off. Something doesn't seem right. And also because she's really weaponizing this in order to give herself cover. So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. But before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So let's get into our last story of the night, which I thought would be appropriate since now we know she's been fired. Let's talk about her ever-changing last names, because maybe this was a part of the reason why she got fired, because of all the fraud and all the deception, okay? So this is according to People magazine. It says Real Housewife of Salt Lake City, Monica explains using 4 different last names after she's accused of changing every effing week. Because don't forget, this is how she was able to fool Heather Gay at Beauty Lab. The tab she had at Beauty Lab that Heather is suing her over was under Monica Fowler, which was her married name. But Heather Gay only knew her as Monica Garcia. So she didn't know who it was. But let's get into it. Monica also accused certain housewives of making fun of her for her last names. They were saying I was trying to make myself look more Latina to get on the show. Before we even get into the article, I think, in my opinion, you were trying to make yourself look more Latina to get on the show. You know, go back to the reunion part 2, where production shared the email. You literally said in your email to production that you were a spicy, excommunicated Latina. And prior to you getting on the show, you were going by Fowler and Darnell, not Garcia. Because even in the casting email, you were Monica Fowler. But all of a sudden, you're Garcia on the show. Pfft, girl, bye. Miss me. Okay, you said it. You did it. You did it yourself. Monica Garcia is clearing up some confusion surrounding her many identities. On Tuesday's second installment of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4 reunion, Monica set the record straight on her various surnames that had been floating around on the internet. When host Andy Cohen asked her if her maiden name was Fowler, the reality star corrected him and claimed it was Darnell and Fowler was her married name. Yes, I heard that. Okay. What's Delgado? Andy asked, to which Monica replied, that's my dad's side. Okay. So Monica Fowler is her married name, Michael Fowler. She's saying that her maiden name is Darnell. So that wouldn't that be your mother's last name? And then Delgado, she's saying, is from her dad's side. Now she says, Garcia is my mother's side, she explained when the Bravo mogul continued to press her. My mother was born Linda Darnell Susan Maria Garcia. When she was growing up, she was teased for being a Portuguese in Boston, and she was called all the time, and it stuck with her. I guess some like slur. I'm not saying it. I don't know. So when she became of legal age, she wiped her entire name off because she was ashamed of it and just kept Linda Darnell. So when I was born, I was Linda Darnell. I think she meant it was Linda Darnell, not she was Linda Darnell. She goes, though she's technically Monica Linda Darnell, like her mother, Monica confessed that the name means nothing to me and wanted to use a family name after her divorce. Yikes. I legally have only ever used 3, which is the one I was born with, when I got married, and when I got divorced, she added before Andy asked why her mother was confused about why she changed her name every effing week this season. See, even the mom is like us and was like, why did you change your name? What is going on? Monica said that her mother definitely brought up her names as a dig after she confided in her about certain housewives who were making fun of her for using whatever the F I was going to use. Monica, your mom wasn't making a dig at you. She was just confused like us. Monica Delgado, Monica Darnell, Monica Fowler, Monica Garcia. Those are 4 different last names, and nobody understood what they meant, why they meant them, and who you were. Even your mother was like, I don't get it. Girl, bye. Because they were saying I was trying to make myself look more Latina to get on the show, she added. We just covered this. You were. You literally said you were a spicy, excommunicated Latina. In the actual email, you were going by Monica Fowler. And then all of a sudden, you were Monica Garcia. Make it make sense. When Lisa Barlow asked who she was referring to, Monica accused her of saying she's an open book. She's an open book and put her finger on a random name in order to choose the perfect moniker to get her the gig. I did not say that. You know who said that? Jen Shah, Lisa claimed, attempting to defend herself. Jen Shah did. Jen Shah said, you went by ... Before she could finish her sentence, Monica interrupted the way she always does and asked if she was simply repeating what Jen Shah said when she made the claims, which prompted Lisa to scream, you fake effing B. Dun, 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 dun. That's another thing Monica does. When she's being called out, she interrupts, she overtalks, she exaggerates, she gets all over the place and she gets crazy because she doesn't want the truth or somebody else's opinion or narrative to get out. So watch her. If somebody else is making a valid point or asking a good question, she will interrupt, she will yell, she will overtalk, she will ask a question because she doesn't want the other person to have any leeway to get out there. So this is crazy, you guys. This chick went by 4 different last names. She admittedly stalked these people. We have it on footage. We have her own self saying she infiltrated them. I think Bravo did the right thing. Bravo, Shed Media, NBC. I think they did the right thing with firing her. She, to me, is very scary. She's a liability in so many different ways. And I said this before, but I think it bears repeating. I'm really happy she was fired because I think it sends the right message to people that, yes, you can be famous and be on a reality show and make money and do all this fun stuff, but you don't have to do it in this dark way. You don't have to lie. You don't have to deceive. You don't have to commit fraud. And a lot of that has been glorified on these shows and in media. And I think it's time that we stop glorifying this type of behavior because it's really dark and it's really scary. And if we continue to glorify it, it's only going to get worse. So I think it's good that they're sending this message that like this type of stuff will not be tolerated. So I'm happy she was fired. This is another take, and for any of the Monica stans out there, which I'm obviously not one of, I think a lot of people are cheering on Monica and they love Monica and they can relate to her and all this stuff because there's that part of people who are like, well, wait a minute, I'm in a similar circumstance as Monica. I don't have all of this money. I might be single. I might be divorced. I might have kids. I might have this. I don't have the money for the clothes or the Louis or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And look at Monica. She got on the show. She's doing it, blah, 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 blah. Now, there's a difference between a good story of someone who had limited means or circumstances who made good. That's the American dream, right? We all aspire to that. We all want that. We want better than what we thought we could have. We want bigger dreams. We want to be famous. We want to have the money. We want to have the car. We want to have the lux life, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. That is fine. There is nothing wrong with wanting to have a better life situation. There's nothing wrong with being inspired by someone who maybe came from a very similar place you came from, who's now made good. That's fine. That's literally the blueprint. Everybody wants that, right? The difference is, how did they go about doing it? That is the difference. And I also think a big thing is the people who really ride for Monica. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the people who ride for Monica are people who also have a very dark insecurity where it's not enough for me to come up, but I want to bring these people down a peg or two so I can feel better about myself. I think the people who really ride for her, who identify with her, who call her their queen and the princess and iconic, I think they have that same type of bitterness and spite in them where they see someone who has what they want, and in order to feel better about themselves, they want to bring that person down. The way you see she gets that sadistic pleasure out of being so evil to Heather and so evil to Lisa and to all of these people. And everyone's like, yeah, she brought them down and blah, 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 blah. And she's telling them off. It's a very dark insecurity some people have, where it's not enough for themselves to do well to feel good about themselves. But the only way they feel better about themselves is if they bring somebody down a peg or two Who do you think you are? You're not better than me. I'm going to bring you down. So I think that energy is what is feeding a lot of her fan base, are the people that get pleasure, that get their own dopamine hit, their own self-esteem boost, watching people who in their own minds that they think is better than them being pulled down a peg or two. That is who I think is her core fan base. It's not me. It's not us, because we know what's up. We know what's up. It's crazy. It's crazy. And Chocolate Chunks makes a really good point. Shout out to Chocolate Chunks, because I think most of her stans don't even know the full extent of what she's done, and the others are somewhat like her, are very naive. Yeah, that's also another thing. They may not really understand the breadth of what she did. Very true. So there you have it, guys. Monica's been fired. She explains her 4 different last names. Again, I think that she only went by Garcia because she did want to exploit her heritage as in her words, the fight. She either said feisty or spicy. She's like, she was a feisty Latina and she wanted to get on the show. I do think she exploited that to get on the show. I really do. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below about this fraudster. Will you be tuning in to season 5 without her, or do you think we need her back? Obviously, you know what I think. I'm happy she's fired. Bye-bye. And I'm looking forward to season 5, because if they were to brought her back, I wouldn't have been here to watch. It would have sucked. So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, you guys, I will take some of your candy cane questions and comments. I will drop the link in case anybody wants to come up, because I will stay on for a little bit longer to take your questions and comments. Hey, Foxy says, yay, Candy. Hey, Tay-Tay. Hi, sweetheart. Sprungen says, good riddance. Andy needs to decide if he wants Bad Girls Clubs to be the Real Housewives or not. Let's go back to when Housewives was classy. I agree so much with this. I'm actually going to do another video, because I caught the producers saying something about this that they should not have publicly said. And I'm going to do a whole expose on them, because they are hypocrites. Gloria says, hallelujah, bravo, well done. Let's do this to the franchises the right way. Classy shopping, going on trips. Exactly. Hey, Mitzi, give her own show. She's more interesting and better looking. LOL. Foxy says, I would not want to watch her on any kind of show. I agree. Naomi said, I wish they hadn't done that. Now next season's going to be boring, and she's the only reason why this season was any good. Oh, no. Gloria says, Foxy, well said. Foxy says, thank you, Gloria. Thanos says, thank goodness I can watch the season now. I said I'm coming because I was running a little late, you guys. Foxy says, same here. Foxy the Sweet says, may she never come back on the show. Tay-Tay says, hopefully Monica gets locked up. That part. Hey, Emmanuel, do you want to share?
Hey, what is up? Yes, I do. I have to. So I just saw the 3rd part of the reunion, and there's no way on this God's green earth they would have kept Monica after everything that was revealed. I mean, first, let me start by saying the reunion was great. I feel like it was top level. Like, remember the Phaedra and Candy reunion? It was iconic. I feel like it was that level. But at the same time, it's kind of demented. The fact that Heather showed the videos that Monica, I'm sorry, but you got to be out of your natural mind to record yourself saying, look, you guys, I'm outside her house. Look at her Range Rover. And then the fact that she tried to say that the FBI said her to do that. Come on now. I also think that one thing that she did that was really wrong is trying to say that production knew. Whether or not that was true, you could tell Andy was upset by that. He was like, we would have never hired you if you would have said that. So it is what it is. I never liked Monica from day one. I think a lot of us kind of knew there was something off with her. It just didn't sit right. Something in the buttermilk wasn't clean. And Heather's right when she said, this is ruining my experience and the experience of other housewives in the future. Because who's going to want to be vulnerable and be real with somebody like that? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Spot on, Emmanuel. Spot on. I agree 100% with you guys. 100%. I haven't even seen the third part yet, so I can't wait to see it. But everything you said just confirms the theory I said about the marketing. Because remember, I said the reason why that they are dropping the fact that Monica got fired before the third part is so everyone can then go watch the third part. Because if they drop it after, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And so you're right. If after the third part, we're all like, there's no way they could keep her, they are brilliant to drop the fact that she got fired now.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Because I did wonder why they leaked the news before.
Yep.
Because the last thing that happened was Andy asked, he actually went one by one, asking each woman, do you think you can move forward? Every single one of them said no. Whitney, Meredith, Heather, Lisa, and Angie said, this has gone too far. There's no way to even repair this whatsoever. And that's how it ended.
I literally got chills when you said that, Emmanuel, because I haven't even seen part 3 yet. And I said on the live right now, I said, this is what I think happened. I think all of the women bonded together, sort of like the cast of Friends, when they were like, if you don't give all of us $1 million this season, then we all walk. And that's how
Yep.
they all got $1 million. And so I was like, I think they banded together and they're like, if you, it's either Monica or us, which is so much stronger than it's either Monica or me. But when you say it's Monica or us, they have no choice but to let Monica go because they can't reboot the entire show just around Monica. I got chills. Emmanuel, you were on top of it. Hey, Tay Tay. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Candy.
What
Hi,
is
Candy.
up? Okay, so Emmanuel, were you done or did you have more to say?
Hey, Emmanuel.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Hey, guys, I'm going to
Okay.
go ahead and drop down. I'll be in the chat. But good night, you guys. And
Good.
this is good news. This is good news for me.
This is great.
Yeah.
Bye.
You're welcome to hang out. Totally up to you. Okay, so Tay Tay, you go first and then you sound off, Adam.
Okay, so the moment that Monica got fired, I was not surprised because this girl is toxic. She is evil, she's psychotic, manipulative, demented, diabolical. You know what?
Yeah, all of it. All of it.
And yeah, and I've chatted with NYC got out because I think that she should be I was thinking that she and Jen would be inmates in jail, in prison, but she said that, but she told me that Monica should go to a state prison because what she did was committed a state crime. Jen Shaw went to a federal prison for a federal crime.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Crazy.
Yeah, and I haven't watched the show either. I'll watch it tomorrow on the Peacock
Same.
extended
Same.
uncensored
I'll catch
version.
you on Peacock.
So good riddance, Monica. I hope she goes to prison. She pays for her crimes and looks herself in the mirror.
Yep, exactly. Thank you, Tay Tay. I agree with you, sweetheart. Hey, Adam, you want to sound off, sweetheart?
Hi, Candy. It's late here, but I, as soon as I saw this, I could not go to bed. I was like, "What is going on here?" When you, like, literally, this is what I've been waiting for. I mean, I haven't really watched this season properly. Like, I just found it unbearable. So at times, I literally just went on the Instagram page, OMFG Reality TV, and just watched the main clips because it was just not good. Like, I just, it's the same with Potomac. They're just not watchable. Like how they, when we talk about having a good show, we want something that's actually watchable, not something that you want to face palm every single 5 seconds. And I mean, it's just, I get it. People say, "Oh, we relate to her." This is cool and all this stuff, but the whole point of this show was to watch something that was calm, collective, cool, and something that you didn't have in your everyday life. And but there was no, there was shade, there was drama and what have you, but there's a difference between drama and toxicity. Like this literally,
Exactly. Very, very valid point. Very valid point.
literally is one thing. It's wrong. It's one thing to have some shade and some, but like for weeks now since this show has been airing, people have just said, what is wrong with the production companies and the network not doing their due diligence? I mean, especially with this show, because we already had that psycho Jenny woman who literally had a Twitter account full of hate and just racist stuff, and that, truth be told, I didn't think this person was even fit in the first place to be part of this show. I mean, that one scene where she was hating on Lisa Barlow spending on her credit card, and I like it how she said, I like buying expensive things that you can't afford. and that was it for me. And I don't know. But what's scary to me is the amount of support and hatred this woman has at the same time. It really is a hybrid effect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, she's very polarizing. It's like you're either on one side of the other, and it's really scary how many people she has on the other side. But I do think I think Chocolate Chunks made a good point, where I do think a lot of her fan base are people who don't actually know or actually understand the depth of what she did. And then I think the other part of it is like what I was saying, people who are kind of like her, where it's like that toxic insecurity, where it's like, I'm only going to feel good about myself if I can bring somebody down that I think is better than me. Like you could tell that like that was fueling her, that like she thought these women were better than her, and she was getting some type of sick thrill out of like taking them down. And to me, it's like, if you are like that, then don't be on a show with them. Do your little Reality Von T's Instagram account to your heart's content, knock yourself out. Don't actually infiltrate their lives. That was too far. Fine, do that. Do you? There's a lot of troll accounts out there. Knock yourself out. Don't infiltrate these people's lives. Be around their children, be in their houses, be in their presence, pretend like you're their friend, when the truth is you actually hate them. And the truth is your goal is to bring them down. That is the sick part of it. But unfortunately, a lot of people who are insecure are like that. It's not let me rise myself up. It's like, let me bring you down so I feel good about myself. I want to bring you down a peg or two. That's why she was so nasty and evil. And those people are very, very dangerous, because those are the type of people who will sabotage you. And because look at what she did to Angie and everybody else. It's sick. Sick.
It really is. But what's amazing though, in the sense of this specific cast member, is that on this YouTube scene, and even just on Instagram fan accounts like Queens of Bravo, the amount of outrage people have in support and hatred for this woman is on a level that like is just, for example, in Atlanta, people will always say, "Are you Kenya or Portia?" And people have disagreements. People like different people, and that's cool. But this person has gone to the stage where it's like threats online, and for NBC and Bravo as a network, that they could see what is going on online, and they can't pretend that they don't know what's going on. Like, they can't play
beyond online. Like she said it herself. Like Heather was like, here it is. They can't do it. And it's like I said before when I gave the analogy of like working at Target, at the end of the day, and just like you said, like NBC, this is a job. This is a workplace. This is a corporation. So if someone that you have to go to work with every single day, just because you're going to work on set, which is what they do, they have their scenes and whatever, versus, going to work at Target or going to work in a cubicle at some 9 to 5, at the end of the day, this is their coworker. So they're going to their employer and saying, I don't feel safe. So NBC has to act. If they don't, they're setting themselves up for big time lawsuits. Big time lawsuits. Because say Monica did do something, say she throws a glass, flips a table and hurts somebody, say she continues to talk about, gay husbands and financial stuff and blah, 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 blah. That is also could be libel or slander or whatever it is. And if your employer knows that this person is harassing you and bullying you and stalking you, and they do nothing to protect you on the workplace, that opens up the employer for a lawsuit because Monica ain't got no money. So the person I'm suing is NBC, not Monica, because they are the employer and it is actually their responsibility to keep their employees safe. So it's bigger than just like, I don't want to film with you. And that's why I think all the women got together, because remember, this is a corporation. Go ahead.
I mean, all as you used it with the Friends analogy, like, that was, the grouping together, the empowerment, that said it all. But the thing to me is that she was in hot water to begin with, because Andy's favorite is Heather, and she caused chaos with her, and the fan favorite for most people, I think, is Lisa Barlow. And she spelled it out to her from the get-go, and I think now, I kind of think with Potomac and Beverly Hills really kind of igniting that kind of let's take stuff to the next level and rip people to shreds with the storylines. I think, now that we've seen it play out in these last, I don't know, 7-8 years, when it got to the Lisa Rinna and the Giselles of this world, we can kind of read into when someone now is trying to play the thirsty gameplay. I saw a thing online comparing just before I joined your live, comparing Monica to Teresa going to jail yet she's still hired, and now people are saying it's outrageous that Monique was offered a contract to come back for season 6 of Potomac after what she did to Candace, and people are reaching with this, and it's just it's kind of like cringeworthy. I mean, are there people who have kind of done things, but like, all these comparisons, I don't think you can compare it really.
No, you're spot on. Like, I saw the same thing where people are like, oh, they're keeping Jen Shah the fraud. Apples to oranges. Like, Jen Shah's fraud isn't comparable to what Monica did. I've said this analogy before, I'll say it again. Like, the Jen Shahs of the world, the Teresas of the world, the Erica Girardis of the world, it's like they're bank robbers. They went out and they robbed the bank. The Monica Garcia of the world is the one who went to your house and robbed you. Those are two different things. Are they both frauds and thieves? Yes. But for someone to go out and rob a bank is one thing. But for you to come into my home and rob me is another. And that's what Monica did. She infiltrated Jen Shah's house. She broke into her security camera, got the footage. She was taking secret videos and all of this stuff. She created a complete burner account, Reality Von Tees, posting things about these people. She was sending DMs and quote receipts and screenshots and gossip and lies anonymously to all of the women, and lying and doing all of that stuff, pretending she was this other person. Like, it's apples to oranges. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And also, this is the thing. If they're not going to invite Monique back, then Bravo needs to literally fire every single person on all across the board who has ever been physically violent. If we're going to say Monique can't come back, then anybody who was ever physically violent should not be brought back. So that means the boys on Southern Charm who got white boy wasted and was fighting and headbutting each other, they need to be fired too.
Correct.
Because if we're gonna say Monique can't come back, then none of them can come back. None of them can come back. They're gonna be having to fire a lot of people because a lot of people on Bravo have been very, very violent.
I was thinking
Not just on the black shows, on the white shows too, because I watch all the shows. I don't discriminate.
100%.
There's been a lot of white violence since it's always the black on black violence. There's been a lot of white violence because at the end of the day, it's not black, it's not white, it's the human race. We're all humans, we're all one. It's humankind. And a part of being a human being is that we do have violent tendencies. Some people have mastered their emotional intelligence more, where they're able to control these tendencies more, and some people haven't. It's not a white or black thing. It's not a race thing. What makes it a race thing is when certain people are allowed to be violent without consequence or comment. And when other people are violent, then all of a sudden it's this big conversation about we don't represent black women like this and Bravo doesn't condone violence. Well, if you guys watch Southern Charm, finale of Southern Charm, these two guys, Austin Kroll and this guy JT, they're wasted at a party. JT is standing on a stool. They are going at it. All of a sudden, Austin pushes him, bucks him. Then he pushes him again, and then JT headbutts him. You know how Andy Cohen handled that situation at the reunion? They were laughing about it. He was blaming JT. Oh, JT, weren't you trying to provoke him? Blah, 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 blah. There was no statement that Bravo doesn't condone violence. There was no statement about how we don't want to represent white men this way because
you should have blamed Austin.
It was Austin. Austin pushed JT twice, and then JT headbutted him.
If he wanted to blame JT, he could have blamed Austin too.
He should have blamed. That's what I'm saying. He should have blamed Austin because Austin was the one who put his hands on JT first. But because Andy likes Austin, because again, it's about favoritism. He likes Austin, so he doesn't want to hold Austin accountable. He's blaming the victim. Well, we're going to blame JT that you provoked him and all this other stuff. So I don't think it's right for anybody to put hands on anybody. I don't think it's right for anybody. But if we're going to say, oh, Monique is so violent and why are they asking her back? Well, there's been a lot of violence on Bravo. And
well, Andy's a hypocrite.
100% a hypocrite.
I mean, because with Potomac, it was Candace who provoked Monique, yet he was trying to say, oh, we don't condone violence. And trying to antagonize Monique. He was trying to antagonize Monique. And the irony, I mean, both Austin and JT, thought what they did was, violence, is the last resort. That's all I think of that. But that JT guy should have been fired anyway. The guy was thirsty and has some psycho obsession with Taylor, but
agreed.
But with but he's a hypocrite because with the JT Austin example, he is trying to say, oh, you antagonize or you were trying to provoke but he had some vendetta against Monique from the start. I mean, that you could just tell even from the early seasons. But the thing is, with all these shows, it's not just Andy and the network; it's the production companies that I think are the problem as well. And I think with Salt Lake City, if they haven't done their due diligence properly with Salt Lake City, I mean, they as I said, there's the Jenny woman. I mean, hi, Emmanuel, just sort of comment. And I just think someone like Lisa Barlow, and I like Meredith, and Heather's all right, but those people, Meredith and Lisa, I find them entertaining. Mary sometimes has some funny lines, but the joys of what these shows used to be kind of it kind of doesn't exist. You know, when I'm not saying that you have to be season 1 of Atlanta or season 1 of Beverly Hills type style, but just this recent few months of Bravo and what have you, it's just not been good. Like, it's just really, as I said, a face palm every 5 minutes type of thing.
Well, hold on. One question, real quick. Do y'all remember when Joe Gorga physically came at Jennifer at BravoCon 2022 and nobody addressed it at the reunion?
Yep. Very good point. Because it's true. It's just like there's been so much, and I blame Bravo for it. Whether it's Bravo, NBC, the production company, that conglomerate, because the moment they made Teresa flipping a table iconic, that is what set this blueprint for violence. And then the reason why it's a race thing, not because it actually is one, because we're one humankind, it's the human race, and so therefore everybody, regardless of the shade of your skin, is capable of violence. We're all humans, we're all the same. But the only reason why it becomes a race thing is when they treat people differently for doing the same exact human action. Hey, Natasha.
Oh my God, my mic was thick. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my God, I got excited. I heard a little Southern Charm comment. I'm obsessed with this season this year. I was really enthralled. I'm not going to lie. I know it was kind of going downhill, but I'm telling you, if you gave up on it, you should check out this last season. And you're going to hate Taylor. Don't worry. But I can't believe it. I missed like most of what you're all saying. And I just happened to turn on my phone and was like, what? Candace live? But I can't believe, like, oh my God, I almost said something really rude. Like, what came into my mind was what Lisa Vanderpump said when she found out Lisa was gone, but I'm not going to say that because that's rude. But what do you think happened? Do you think she got fired or do you think she bounced?
Oh, she definitely got fired. Do you think a person like her would
You said
bounce?
she bounced?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That was a silly
I think she got
question.
fired.
My
Natasha,
bad.
you're trolling.
Not really, Natasha.
I'm sorry. Like I'm
Natasha's
sorry.
trolling us.
Natasha.
I think I just had a stroke. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, like it's crazy. Do you think that they were like, no, like too many people are going to be outraged and we can't have these people like scheming and doing this kind of thing? Because in reality, it's not fair for her castmates to have to actually be forced to film with someone like that. And to have her like in their house and like, yeah, it's not fair.
No, exactly. And I haven't watched part 3 yet because I watch on Peacock, so I'll be watching it tomorrow. But
oh my God, I forgot that was on today too. Shoot, you're right.
Right? But shout out to Emmanuel. He was up here and he already saw it and he gave us a good recap. And he was saying how once you watch part 3, you understand why they could not have brought her back. Like there's more receipts, more recordings. Like it's just so much that after that you understand why they couldn't bring her back. And also,
so we're gonna need apologies from all the Monica splainers. Thank you.
Monica splainers. We're gonna need apologies because it's all coming out.
Yep.
And then I also said I think another thing is that I think the women banded together and were like, us as a collective, it's either her or us, which is way more powerful than
hell
it's
yeah.
either her or me. And Emmanuel said that during that third part of the reunion, Andy goes around to all the women and says, is there a path forward with Monica? And every one of them says no. So I think that's a pretty big. I think one, it's because the women banded together and said it's us or her. Us, super powerful. 2, I think it's also legal liabilities at this point because don't forget, they get their checks from NBC Universal. This is a job. So if you are telling your employer, I don't feel safe because our other employee has done A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it's all documented, and your employer still chooses to put you in an unsafe environment with that person, if something does pop off, it is now on the employer. Because nobody is suing Monica because she doesn't have any money, allegedly. You're going to sue NBC. You're going to sue Bravo. You're going to sue Shed Media because as your employer, they have the due diligence and they have the responsibility to keep you safe. So I think it's a lot of things going into why Monica can't come back. That's just beyond like what we, John Q public, what we're saying. Because we're basically a poll. We're like 50% wants her back, 50% doesn't. She's pretty polarizing. But I think what's going into their decision to bring her back or not has much more to do with actual red tape, bureaucracy, and liability at this point.
Right. Because that you can't argue with. Like, this woman is what she did is pretty unprecedented and very diabolical in a different way than anyone else.
Show, but we have to remember that is their workplace and they're a corporation. There is an HR. You know what I'm saying? Like it's deeper than just, you know, do you want her back or not want her back? Like there's different levels to it now. Go ahead.
Right. No, I agree. And it's just very, like, what she did is very unprecedented. And like I said, it wasn't me, but I remember hearing someone bring it up, and it's like, yeah, this woman, if they have to film with her, that means that she's going to be around their kids. This woman openly admits to lie, cheating, and stealing. Like, she doesn't even hide it. There's proof. She admits it. Doesn't show zero remorse. She's a danger.
Zero.
She's a danger. Like, yeah, you could say none of these people are angels. Yeah, they're not. But this person is just like, I think it's a different level of scary when people are past the denial stage and they're like, yeah, I do that. And you're like, okay, I'm backing away slowly and probably calling the cops. Bye. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And shout out to Norma. I think she's spot on with this. She says, my issue with Monica is that she came after these women with such vitriol and made it personal. Yet I didn't see what they did to her other than be richer. That's exactly what it is. She's just envious of them. They've done nothing to her. They actually welcomed her with open arms. It's her own vitriolic, toxic envy. Because she doesn't, it's not enough for Monica to have a come up. She gets pleasure in trying to bring them down. And that is what is sick. That's the sick part.
That's what's scary, though, because all it takes is just someone to be richer than her for her to do all this. Like all it takes is for her to feel a little envious of someone. Someone doesn't even have to do anything to her, and they're in danger.
Yeah,
Scary.
She's an egomaniac.
I mean, it's what's beyond me though is just like, you know, people can read through the lines when people are thirsty, but like I said, to take it to another level of being toxic and just thinking that this is going to guarantee you a spot. I mean, you know, I just find it insane how this woman has all these supporters. I mean, you know, that's just, to me, you know, if you support her, then you know, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, but like it just seems brainwashed to me. I just
I really like what Norma just had a comment like a few ones ago. She said something like about people that are like, she saved the show, and how like they must hate the cast because their main thing is like they got a thrill out of watching her take down them. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, I'll read it. Norma said, so many say Monica saved the show. The ratings were lower this season until the last few episodes. So many got a thrill watching her taking down the cast. Why watch the show if you hate the cast? I'm going to answer this question because I said it before, but I'll repeat it. I'll tell you exactly why. It's like I was saying, I'm talking, not to you, Natasha, in general.
The point. It was the point.
The point, right?
I love it, though.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's because the people, so the let's just say it's like a pie of the people who really support Monica. One piece of that pie are people who are just naive. They're ignorant. They don't actually understand the extent or the implication of what she did. So they're supporting her out of ignorance, naivete, not totally understanding. Then you have the other piece of the pie who support Monica because they identify with that toxic insecurity that she has. Just like you said, they got a thrill of watching her take down the cast because to them, they're just like her. She looks at these women as being richer than her, therefore they are better than her. I don't agree with that. I think everybody's equal, but I'm talking about what their psyche is. So for them, it's you are better than me. So the only way that I can feel good about me isn't for me to come up, but for me to bring you down. And that's why a lot of these people are going so hard for Monica, because they're getting that same sick thrill out of watching people who they think are better than themselves be taken down a peg or two. Who do you think you are? I'm going to bring you down here so I can feel better about where I'm at. And that's the real sickness.
Woo.
That's the real sickness. That's the real reason why these people like Monica's a queen. She's our princess. She's a stan. She's taking him down. Go get him. It's just like, why are you getting such a thrill out of someone being so hateful and vitriolic towards someone who's done nothing to them?
It's disturbing.
It's because in their own mind, in their own life, they don't feel good about themselves. They feel less than. They feel looked down upon. They feel not good enough. They feel unlovable. They have low self-esteem, low self-worth. So when they see someone who reflects what they wish they saw in themselves, they want to smash that mirror. They want to bring that mirror down. Because then maybe they think, maybe I'll feel a little bit better about myself if you're down here. That's what's really going on here.
The level of accuracy that you just said is like, that was the gospel truth right there.
That's why people are they're enmeshing themselves with her, because they identify with that.
I always felt that in my core. I felt there was one level that was just kind of just like didn't get the full scale of what was happening. They weren't really like, they weren't negative people or anything. They just didn't get it. For whatever reason. But then there was this other side that I could tell just energetically was seeing something in Monica that they have in themselves.
100%. 100%.
And that was what was unsettling.
Exactly. That's why when her mask fell, that's why she had so much hatred towards these women, because that's how she truly felt. And then she kept putting words in their mouth. Remember part 1 of the reunion, they're talking about the ring. And she goes to Lisa, well, because you think I'm less than you. You think that's why I stole it. Lisa never said that.
Lisa never said that, literally.
Nobody said that Monica was less than them. That's how she feels. And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose, but I'm pretty sure that's called projection. You feel less than, therefore you are projecting that sentiment or belief onto somebody else, because nobody on that cast said that she was less than them. To be honest with you, the women on the cast were actually really trying with her.
They really were. A little too much, in my opinion.
But when you
some of them
hate yourself so much, you can't hate, someone can't love you enough for you to wipe away your own self-hate. That's only something you can do.
100%. I mean, Lisa Barlow, as I said, spelled it out best. You know, when she could see who this woman was, when she was, oh, you always show off, you're spending all your credit cards, and just like it, and she just had to spell it out. You know, if you're gonna be this jealous, bitter person, I might as well just say it. I like expensive things that you can't afford. You know, like, you know, if
that's a crime, like, send me to jail. You know, like, she likes expensive stuff that she can afford.
Exactly, but like, you know, I mean, what I am interested in knowing though is the future direction of this show, because they haven't done their due diligence in the past and they've hired all these weird people. I mean, there's this whole thing now that potentially some NBC director said recently that it's not Lisa Barlow that's responsible for the show. Mary Cosby helped organize this show, which is a weird one to me. And
very weird.
People want Mary now to be back full time. I think, you know,
why.
I don't know. Some people do. I have no idea why. But obviously what's happened is been explosive, but to be honest with you, there needs to be some more changes to that cast than ever. I mean, Heather's puppet cousin can join her and go, quite frankly. But
I agree. We can take Whitney out with the bathwater. Bye.
And
Whitney is unhinged.
Not the bath water.
Like, but I mean,
I see what you did there.
Yes, but literally, she offers nothing to the show. But like, for some, I want, I don't want someone to gimmick her, but I want someone like Lisa Barlow's energy to join the show. That's what I want.
Same. I would love that. And but I want them to be friends.
Yeah.
I don't want them to beef. Yeah,
I don't want conflict. Yeah.
Like, I wanted to go back to, I want to watch these women and just be like,
laugh.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to like join them in St. Bart's, or like join them like laughing and like getting tipsy and having fun, or like whatever it is. I want to be able to immerse myself in what they're doing and escape.
Yeah.
And have inspire towards. Like, oh, I can't wait to go to like Dior and have a personal, tailor and all my stuff. Like, I want to have a place where I can go and escape for that hour and immerse myself into it without coming out traumatized.
Yeah, have an organic feeling.
I don't want any ism, phobia, assault. I'm tired of it. I don't ever again.
It's too toxic.
Anything too toxic on. I don't want to talk about fraud. I don't want to hear the word victim. I don't want any. I just want to
we don't want this heavy stuff anymore. We're sick of it.
Exactly. We're sick of it. I want like the biggest kiki to be like.
And if you do like this heavy stuff, then maybe you should go talk to someone professionally. Sorry.
Exactly. Family,
But,
like old school days. That's what
I want. I want something that actually makes me feel like, yes, I want to watch the show, because, like I said, I didn't even watch this season properly. It just got too much. After episode 6 or 7, I was like, I'm out. So thank God for Instagram clips, because that was all I needed to know. But
every time I see the word nastiness, I have to say it in the Meredith nastiness room. Like, I could never not say nastiness like that.
The rumors, the
nastiness and rumors.
Do you want me to mention the husband? I can go there.
Oh my God, Adam! That was Adam's American accent. I love it. Can you do it again?
Do you want me to mention the husband? I can go there.
You kind of sound like a 1920s like someone who like sells stuff. Hey, get them while it's hot. Hey.
but I don't know. I want that organicness where I'm like, I actually want to watch this show on Tuesday, whatever damn day it is a week. But the worst thing about this experience in the last 3 months is that we've had this unbearableness of this show and the forced storylines, and somehow Robin's still on our screens for Potomac. Like, Natasha got me into Southern Charm because we literally don't care for it in this country. Like, no one, it's never advertised. So, like, literally,
Adam is like appalled and confused by the accents.
The accents are a bit out there for me, but yeah, I've put up a bit. Literally, that show, there's the toxicity of that weird, crazy Taylor girl, but the show was somewhat actually calm and relaxed, as crazy as that sounds, compared to this chaos.
You know why it was relaxing for me? Because she came in with what we were all thinking, and it was like she kind of cut through the gaslighting that was happening again and again. And I even I saw a clip recently of them all at that Jamaican dinner when Taylor attempted to gaslight everyone again, and then she brought up Olivia's brother. It was just all around atrocious, and accused Olivia of verbally abusing her. It was a mess. And Vanita came through every time with the comments. They were small, but they were crisp and they were precise. And like for me, it like made my blood pressure like lower every time because I'm like, okay, so now there is actually someone based in reality on this. Okay, phew, she is my MVP, and I want nothing more than her and Olivia to like
100.
run it next
You
season.
remind me of Scandival.
It did a little bit. It wasn't as much. It was different, but like the intensity, it was like on the same vein, but just different because the relationships weren't as long and it wasn't as like Scandival was just like as big as it was because that's all the history of we were all invested in these relationships. These relationships weren't that old, but it's just the gaslighting that went on was very familiar, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But JT is a psychopath. Like he's a little gremlin. I mean, I did appreciate him coming for Austin, but like, I don't know. His little gremlinness was getting on my nerves.
Yeah, his disposition was all over the place. There's some people with a disposition that's just thirsty and like, you could just get off my screen type of vibe. But
yeah,
like,
it never came off authentic, even though he was like saying the right thing about Austin, where we're like, yeah, that is true. But he didn't keep the same energy. And Rodrigo, I was being a psycho and I was on Reddit and I was like, what are they saying? And and I was laughing hysterically of the people reading Rodrigo saying that he looked like he was wearing like clip-ons, a hairpiece. And I was like, oh my gosh, because it really does. It's like a bowl cut. I'm like, what are you doing?
But wait, so Candy, you agree with me in terms of the future of the show needs someone who, organically knows the group to some degree, but has the edge and the coolness and the spell it out vibe of Lisa Barlow to join the show.
Yes, I think they need to bring on 2 to 3 new women.
Yeah.
I think they could even handle a third, but I would definitely say a solid 2 to 3.
We need to big up the group, yeah.
I don't want it to be 8. Seven's the perfect number, I think. I think that's the problem.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, they need to bring 2 women on and maybe a friend of, okay? So we need 2 solid women and they can bring on a friend of with them, okay? But my thing is this. There needs to be, sure, they can know the women, but I think it would be more interesting if the 2 women they bring on, that they have the solid friendship. And see how they and see how they work with the group of the women. Like, yes, they can know them and they should know them and all of that stuff. But if it's not going to be authentic that these people are truly friends, then don't lie. Just say, these are 2 amazing women who also live in Salt Lake City. We know each other socially or on the peripheral or whatever. And now we're coming together because we have a lot of things in common and let's see what happens. I would prefer that type of vibe. And then for them to be personality-wise, we need a Jen Shaw energy without
the evil.
With a Lisa Barlow temperament. You
know
what I'm saying?
100.
Like a Nene character. Like that type of character where it's like she owns the room and she's blah, 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 blah. But
she's not toxic.
It's not this sort of performative, because Jen Shaw was performative.
Very much so.
A lot of her outbursts, a lot of her yelling and screaming and smashing, she was performing. It was all performative. And it was over the top and it was too much. And girls, sit down, be quiet. Even Tanisha said it. She said, I never even heard Jen Shaw yell in my life. A lot of Jen Shaw was performing. It was all performative. And that's what Monica saw. And that's what Monica did. And that's why Heather said, I've seen this.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's why Heather said, I've seen this thing before, where one moment you're completely normal and you're talking, and then next, all of a sudden, you're yelling and you're screaming and you're throwing things and all this other stuff, and you go from 0 to 100. And that's why she kept saying, we've been in this before, where the person is normal, but they're pretending and they're performing. because Jinshaw was performing. Do I think she is a little firecracker? Sure. But a lot of what she was doing was performative. So I want someone who has genuine energy and fun and that girlness, like a Jen, but with the temperament of Elisa Barlow, who comes in and is authentic. Like, I don't think Elisa Barlow is performing. This is who she is all day long. You know what I'm saying? So
Norma says, bring Phaedra.
No, Phaedra's doing great on Traders.
She hops around anyway. She
She is
could.
doing good on Traders. I think that's a good place for Phaedra.
I'm obsessed with Phaedra on Traders.
She doesn't have
Obsessed.
to stay alive.
I'm so annoyed. I can't watch Traitors until it's wrapped your side.
Oh,
She goes,
no.
don't do this, poverty.
I know. Both of you.
Both of when she said both of you, Dan like swallowed his tongue.
Because he was plotting.
He's playing dumb. He's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I'm not even gonna entertain that dumbness.
Yeah. Did I see the rumored newbies? No, not yet. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, did you see that Monica is on pause?
You mean fired? Gustav said, didn't she quit? No, she was
No,
fired.
you're trolling.
Well, I could be telling a lot. Or I just said what you just said.
Troll. I mean,
yeah, don't do us like that. She's got the pink slip.
Sorry, guys.
So Monica's. Oh my God, Gustav said so. Monica's mom is on now.
Oh my God.
Not Linda.
But what's it? It's getting a bit late my way. But just before I go on a sidebar, Candy, you said you were torn and you were in two different minds about Vanderpump Rules.
Yes.
Are you just gonna watch the premiere episode and then judge it from there?
I'm gonna give it 1 to 2 episodes. I'm gonna watch the premiere, and then I'm gonna give it another second episode, because the premiere sometimes can be a pump fake. Whether it's like not good and then it turns out good, or it's really great and then it gets really flat. So I'm gonna watch the premiere, but I'm just kind of, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like, I just don't care about these people.
Me neither.
Like, I just don't care about them. Like, I have 0 F's to give for Ariana. I have 0 F's to give for Tom and Katie.
I'm kind of over them.
I've gotten Vanderpump fatigue. Like, I
really did
have 0 F's to give for this entire cast of people.
They should have actually waited, like, had a longer break, because even though it wouldn't be like the storyline, but like, yeah, I'm exhausted. Like, from them, they took me out last season. Like, that was too much.
I mean, it's a crazy one. I mean, I mainly watch it because of Lala Kent and James, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna dip. But have a good night. And
you too, Adam. Thank you so much for coming up. Good night, sweetheart.
Yeah, I gotta go too. I'm exhausted.
I'm sleepy.
Bye.
Night, Candy. Night,
Thanks
Natasha.
again.
Night.
Bye, Adam. Oh, any last words, Tay?
Well, I'm interested in Vanderpump Rules. I'll be watching Vanderpump Rules. I want to see how everything plays out.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Monica part, I hope she rots in hell.
Me too, Tay. Me too.
All right.
Bye, sweetheart. Have a good night. Thank you so much for coming up.
You too.
Mwah. You too. Shout out to my wonderful panel, Tay the Savior, Natasha, Adam, Emmanuel. Thank you, everybody, for coming up and chatting with me. Thank you, everybody who was holding me down in the chat box. Shout out to my mod, Miss T. I appreciate you. Shout out to Norma. What is up, sweetheart? Shout out to Chocolate Chunks. You are a channel member. I appreciate you holding me down, and you always have such great insights. Hey, Gustav. Hey, SW. Let's see who else is up and about. Hey, Just Simply. What is up, sweetheart? Hey, Foxy. What's up, sweetheart? So yes, everybody in the chat box, if I missed you, I apologize. And everybody watching, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. And yeah, I'm going to watch part 3 of the reunion tomorrow when it's on Peacock. And then we'll be back right here talking about everything from that reunion. We will also be doing Natasha requested Southern Charm. So we'll be doing a Southern Charm recap. And then let me know what else you guys want me to talk about. You know, I can talk about stuff that's not just Bravo. I've been trying to think about different stories or ideas or deep dives to do for you guys to bring it together. Nothing too dark, but something juicy, something conspiracy, something fun, maybe something in pop culture, or maybe like right off the skirts of it. So if you guys have any ideas, comment down below, send me a DM, send me an email, let me know, because I want to do more fun deep dives for you guys, but nothing too dark, okay? All right, you guys. Mwah, I love you. Oh, wait. DJ says, I never watched The Young and the Vapid, but that Ariana danced up graceful storm on Dancing with the Stars. Oh, yeah. Good night, Norma. Good night, Chocolate. All right, you guys, hit the notification bell and also be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Shop down below. We do have our conspiracy theory teas and other fun stuff. So with that, you guys, I love you. Be safe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.